Had it or hit it, Joe Biden.
Hit it. You know, honestly, here's the thing. I think sometimes people want electoral politics to be, we overly identify with, it's like if you vote for someone, they have to be the embodiment of you. And that's actually something that I think Donald Trump provided to a lot of people, where it's like, if you voted for him and if you were a Donald Trump person, like you want, like it symbolized so much. But I think what we have here in this situation is a more just honest thing. There are plenty of things that the president does that I completely disagree with. I think, you know, right now what's happening in Gaza, I can't go on every single day seeing this. I don't associate myself with what's happening. But at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that we just can't allow this fascist movement to grow in this country. And what I think is actually hopeful about our politics is that we can exist outside of electoral politics in organizing our communities and standing with our friends. And, you know, if it's coming down to this next election, for me personally, the decision to vote is not a difficult one for me, because like, just because I'm voting for him doesn't mean that he embodies everything about me.
Right.
And that's the absurd ideology that has been guiding the left for quite some time now, right? That they say, oh, come on, man, voting not personal. Come on, man, vote for corruption. It's not personal. How self-serving is that? And we ask you guys to think, like, how does their ideology serve us, the workers? How does this benefit us? The idea that, oh, you gotta vote for people that enabling a genocide. Vote for people who are not fighting for you. Vote for people who enable state violence, because it's not representative of who you are. That serves the ruling class. We should be 100% militant about our vote. We don't put a lot of stock into electoral politics, but if you're going to engage in electoral politics, why will you vote for people who are going against your interests, going against your actual outside activism? So this idea that we have some civic duty to choose the lesser two evils, even though that's counterproductive to our class interests, that serves the ruling class and the professional managerial class. That's why you hear it from AOC and the majority report. A lot on that, but CJ, I pass back to you.
Yeah, and I think this is why, Nick, there has to be a petty bourgeois class. There has to be a class, one foot in, 1 foot out. The foot that they have in is through their speech. I'm for this. I'm for this. The foot they have out is with the party, voting to send money to Ukraine, voting to send money to Israel. So this is why it is so very important that movement, that people who are in the trenches, the working class people, are speaking out more, are being the voices of these movements. Because as long as we have these people in power, Nick, the ones that are supposedly framed as the left, and we're looking to them as, hey, give us guidance, let's do that. And when the last time has the squad galvanized anybody to do anything? When have they grouped all their millions of followers? It hasn't happened, Nick. But let me read my tweet about this video, and then we'll bring the video up and kind of give a couple of as an introduction and warm up before our guests get here. This is what I said about it, and everybody kind of chiming in on this video because it's absurd, but it's very orchestrated. If you see in the last 7 days, everybody's now went from Palestine, George Genocide Joe to let's vote genocide no matter who. They all of them have done this, and you saw it in the intro video earlier. Go ahead, Nick, if you're gonna chime in, sir.
Yeah, and AOC said that she don't support what's going on with Gaza. She's like, I don't want anything to do with that. Ma'am, you supporting the president You are telling people to vote for the president that is enabling a genocide that dehumanized Palestinian lives. I mean, this is the person, Joe Biden, who said he saw 40 beheaded babies that did not exist. Israel and the IDF renounced the claims of 40 beheaded babies, but Joe Biden came out and lied about it. You guys realize that's one of the most disgusting things the president has done in my lifetime, outside of the offensive killing, of course. You know what I mean? That's like one of the, in terms of rhetoric, in terms of strategy, that's one of the most unhinged things we have seen out of the White House. They told us that the reason why Donald Trump was so dangerous is that Donald Trump, if even the worst case scenario is not this, because they like he will start wars and kill brown people. The worst interpretation of what they said Donald Trump would be, that's Joe Biden. He's siding with the most unhinged ethno-fascists in the world in order to commit a genocide while providing cover for them while doing that. The Biden administration providing cover while they killed journalists, and they did that before October 7th with Shireen Abdul-Akleh, for example. My last thought, I'll pass to you because I want to get to your tweet as well to get back on topic. This is why I call myself a Marxist. I'm a revolutionary, unapologetically. It's in Lenin. We look at Malcolm X and how critical Malcolm X was of the liberal wing of the civil rights movement. It is our job to call these people out because they are active agents of the empire and capital. AOC is destroying the understanding of what it means to be a socialist, and she's also trying to redefine what a socialist is, and they have been successful in the West. There are people in DSA, there are social democrats who supported NATO who believe they are on the left of RBN, CJ. Like if you ask David Figueiredo, if you ask Voss, those people, we are right wing. They think they're to the left of us while they support NATO. So you see how AOC and the squad and Burn. I see you guys laughing. Like, no, but this is serious. They support NATO, the war, and the Democratic Party, and then they call people who criticize the Democratic Party right wing. We're the real socialists. You're red, brown, and lions. You see how they're trying to redefine what socialism is? That's why we had to take care of Holly Hawkins. Why you guys think the Green Party in Sweden and Finland and in England and France is so trash? It's because they allowed themselves to be taken over by liberals who are pro-war, pro-market, pro-police state. And thank God that the Joe Stein wing, and I took an active lead role in this as well, calling Howie Hawkins out and not allowing him to do the same thing to the United States and drag the Green Party to the right, pushing mandates and all that bullshit. That's the same thing that AOC and Bernie successfully done to the progressive Justice Democrat movement. Like any semblance of anyone who's good faith and anyone who's a fighter is gone. Because I will still maintain to this day that the people who was part of the Bernie campaign, like myself, had good intentions. Everyone who had good intentions going in, they've been gone, CJ. Everyone who's still in, you sus. Right? But anyway, I went long enough. CJ,
but just to kind of comment on a couple of things you said, what stands out to me is that I don't understand, and I said this in the latest video I did about the case against the Democratic Party. I don't understand the payoff. What is the payoff? Unless you believe in Santa Claus, aka democracy's ending. Like if you believe in Santa Claus, I can't affect you. Like go over here. I'm talking about those who are lived in reality. What's the payoff? Because I can understand vote blue no matter who, as long as they're neutral against your policies. Meaning they're doing no harm, no good. It's just flat. What is the payoff when they're going in, you're voting them in, and they're doing it against what you want to have happen? That's what I don't understand, Nick. It's like when they're going against, so if they're going in there supporting the genocide, what is the payoff? Now, if this never happened, which is typical, like something like this genocide doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen during every president.
Shit I was saying.
Right. So they were able to have these talking points based on an abstract argument because it wasn't nothing material to be like, wow, because I flip-flopped on this issue, now look where we are. We were never able to point to an issue like that, Nick. Now we have Palestine. It's like, you remember that, I'm like knocking on their door. Hey, you remember that one issue, don't be a single issue voter? Remember you told me that? That cost 35,000 lives right there.
Yeah.
That's what that now imagine if you, social democrat, had my position, which you call purity. Imagine if you were pure for the Palestinians, where would they be? Would that have affected at all? Now, I don't know, but I'm just saying I would put more money on that saving lives than this. Than saying, let's push Joe Biden to the left.
The same people who are being very performative with the Palestinian issue in order to increase their clown following, they were the same people accusing us of purity test. Where's your accusation of purity test now? Now that everyone melting down at John Fetterman, I would never let those people live that down. You got to see me on Twitter. I'll always talk shit to those people. Like, no, I'm not gonna let you do this thing where you rehabilitate yourself. Remember when you supported John Fetterman and you guys said I was pushing purity test because being called out John Fetterman day one, week one of the beginning of the season. We were like, who's that? He's hella shady. Why y'all talking about him? And now they
how many times that article you post is gonna ratio somebody? You like on number ratio 5 of the same article, the same exact article.
And they pretend they haven't seen. Yeah, there's guys. If you don't know, I don't want to pull it up again because I don't want to hijack your segment. But there was articles and there were speeches that John Fetterman gave beforehand where he straight up said, "My priority is to be an ally of Israel." But that was very inconvenient to the narrative that it was painting, so they just ignored it. It was crazy to see, and I kept posting under everyone's mentions on Twitter, like, you can see this, and so I know they was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna pretend I haven't seen that shit." The Vanguard for one, because I ratioed them multiple times, like, "Hey, the Vanguard, you guys are pushing John Fetterman on your show, and he is giving quotes on the campaign trail talking about how his number one priority is take care of Israel." That was April 2022, way before the election. And then when he first started, there was the AIPAC campaign that was started against Dr. Oz, so he immediately reached out to them and said, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna be friendly to Israel as well." Like, he gave so many signs, and people were just ignoring it. They was like, "He got a hoodie and shorts. He's just like us. He can relate to us." Anyway, go ahead, CJ. I'm done.
All right, let me read this, and then we'll get back to the video, and we'll get back to our regular segments. But what I said about what this video, and it's kind of going viral, it's in the process of going viral. Let's put it that way. AOC has really destroyed the understanding of what is a socialist, and you spoke to that, and that is really key. It's key to keeping the left stable. It's key to hijack their words. This is why our words always be hijacked. We come up with a different phrase next week, Nick. It's hijacked. Isn't your not serious, unserious? That got hijacked. I'm hearing all kind of social democrats use that. That's all they do. They listen to how we speak. Marianne Williamson is another one who, when she interviewed with us, wasn't speaking a particular way. Then after she did a couple of interviews and studied, podcasts, she was on. By the time she got to podcast number 5, she was speaking as she was damn near Michael X. And I was like, what? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell happened here?
And I learned from experience because I'm still, like, we were still a young channel. I'm still in experience. Like people would tell me stuff, and I'd be like forgetting that people would just tell you stuff. Like Olayemi is like the best example, right? On RBN, Olayemi is like the next Angela Davis, like the next she's like, "No, I would never support Joe Biden." People code switch in front of us, and I learned, like, see, I got to stop being so trusting of people like that, because they talk to me. Jordan used to do. Remember, I used to be friends with Jordan Stats School. I was on the show before. He used to sound radical as hell to me. He did this with Jamie as well. They would sound radical as hell. Then the second that you leave, they like, "Oh, what we actually got to do is vote for Joe Biden. The revolution is toxic." Like, where was this when we was having on the show? But go ahead, CJ.
All right. And then I go on and say, lesser of two evils, 2024. That's what this is. That's what this is being rolled out. You got abortion that's being rolled out. They're gonna lean heavy on that. Then I go on to say, this is when I mean this, I'm talking about what AOC is saying in the video. This is a professional managerial class point of view. To pretend like losing a democracy supersedes a genocide is such a privileged understanding of humanity. The preservation of people's lives supersede all other matters in existence. Because let me just speak to that, because imagine pretending that some sort of constructed idea of a system of how a government should be ran, meaning a democracy, supersedes the lives of other people. It's so almost self-centered. It's that it's almost very close to what is it, American exceptionalism, which is almost like very akin to racism. It is ridiculous to think that democracy should supersede genocide, even if on the grounds of, if you're going to use lesser of two evils. Like we always say here, we can do it either way. We can say, I don't believe in the lesser two evils, but let's just go on lesser two evils and go pound for pound, flesh for flesh. Clearly, Joe Biden has produced, because he is a more effective person at evil, not because Trump has different ideas. He's just a clown show. That's all. That's the difference. But we can get back to the. Go ahead, Nick.
I'll just be real short. You know what they telling people right now? They're telling people right now that we should vote for Joe Biden and allow him to bomb more brown children so suburban white women can have abortions. That's the trade they want us to make. They're like, come on, man. I know that we're bombing Palestinian kids, but what about Roe v. Wade? Like, are we serious right now? That's the argument they're making. They're doing this thing where they're pretending that Trump is a dictator. You guys see this? Trump said he will be a dictator on day one. Donald Trump is going to be a threat to our democracy. He's going to be a dictator. Ma'am and sir, Joe Biden bypassed Congress. Joe Biden bypassed Congress in order to bomb brown kids. Joe Biden bypassed Congress in order to start a regional war against a country opposing a genocide. And you want me to vote for that person so suburban white moms can have abortions? No. You know how much I care if people get mad at me for saying that? Zero. I don't care. I'm beyond done with liberalism. I am done with Western society and their contradictions. And there are people fuming. Oh, nigga, you won't vote for my abortion? No, not while you're bombing brown kids. How about that? All that, not while you not during the genocide. See, I don't know how much you've been paying attention, but that's your pitch. Kamala Harris, she cleaned her rhetoric up. She asked the question. She pivots to Roe v. Wade. Man, Kamala Harris, the young people are worried about Gaza. Man, aren't you worried about the fact that women don't got a right to choose? Nigga, fuck that. As there a genocide going on right now. That's where I'm at. Like that's where you guys want to put. That's where you guys want to put this at right now. And I want to say it. That's the message of the campaign.
You way more harsh than I am. I'm saying a lot gentler. Usually I'm the more harsh. Are you like, fuck that shit, man?
No, I told you guys, like this genocide does this to me. I told you guys I've been going crazy. Like this genocide. I've thrown away all like civility politics being nice. I've been following foreign policy for a very long time. I said this before, but this is one of the most heart-wrenching. It's very hard to watch what's going on and maintain my sanity. You know what I mean? So my rhetoric has gotten harsher. And I have a hard time controlling because it's just crazy times.